Hail and welcome to the Black Tower. I'm your host, your guide, your brother, the Sorcerer Monsul. Now, I'll tell you a very interesting story. I'm about to do 7 days, each day honoring the god of that day, the elder god of that day. Uh, Today is NANNA. I had done this recording earlier today when the light was brighter and everything else, better video quality, what have you, and was having problems, technical difficulties. It kept lagging the picture, and lagging the sound, and the video weren't going together for some reason. No idea why. Whereas it's doing it perfect now. However, when I tried to redo it, still having problems. So I turned off the device and everything else. I'm like, I'll do this later on tonight. I went outside for a cigarette. I come back in, and a friend of mine, a brother, who had originally given me the staff, he'd been in his back room, and he had found a book over the weekend, and it was a hardback. It was Luciferian Witchcraft. Now I've talked about this book by Michael W. Ford. You go online and try to find a hardback version of this book. If you pay less than $81, you are doing really good. Most of the time they're $100 a pop. This is the first edition print hardback, which is really strange. Anyway, so he saw it. He's like, the first thing he said is, he's like, I have got to get this to Waylon. Now, what's interesting about this is that there for, I think it was a few months, 5, 6 months, my wife and I had to live with my stepmom. Well, now my stepmom, and this is in between trying to get our the ground underneath our feet, get control of our lives and all this other stuff. So it was just one of those things along the way, and it was also the first time we had lived with somebody else instead of living on our own, minus the time that we lost our apartment to the same people who stole our money. Go figure. Imagine that the problems there, and that they would reoccur. Anyway, so this nice, lovely lady who was married to my father, who drove him bonkers every day of his life, uh, she decides that because of all their bad luck that they're having, it has to be because of me. It has to be my fault. I can hear my wife cussing across the room in her head because this moment, this time is so fresh, even though it's been almost 2 years since this happened. So this crazy woman decides that it's my fault that I'm cursing them. This isn't the fact that they make horrible, horrible decisions with their money. They don't pay all their bills. They stay in debt and all this other stuff. Oh no, no, no! It's got to be my fault. I shit where I sleep. No, I don't do that. But I was being accused of this. Well, they had seen me sitting out in the dining room area with my notebook and my paperback version of the Luciferian Witchcraft that my wife had gave me for one of our anniversaries. It was a dear, dear fucking gift. It was the most beautiful gift I've ever received next to the Necronomicon. This book has it all. It opened my eyes. It allowed me to heal through my demons and all this other stuff during a time when I needed to. Uh, and I think it's interesting. This book helped me to overcome the depression that beset me when my father died of a massive heart attack. Now, this is the same woman that was married to this man, so she knew what kind of person he was and that he was spiritual, magical, and all this, that, and the other. And so, of course, his oldest son, it has to be his fault that all this bad stuff's happening. You know, I wonder who they would have blamed if I hadn't been there. That's neither here nor there. So this woman decides she's going to burn my book. I mean, can you imagine? Burn my book. Well, to keep the peace, I'll let this woman burn my book. My only thought was that my father had left her his Bible. And my wife was the one that brought this up. She goes, how would she feel if I went in there and burnt his Bible? She's like, you can't replace that Bible. You can replace a Bible with a Bible, but you can't replace that one. That's how much it meant to her, of getting me this book. Well, anyway, long time's passed. All this has gone away. And today, of all days, I am brought up. Dude's got a manila folder that's like this thick. It's a big, huge thing. And I'm like, bringing his tools to help me work on some things here at the house. Some craft products, some craft items that I need some actual help with. And he's like, open that up. He says, that's for you. He says that is all you. I found that in the back room. He says, I don't know where it came from. I don't remember how I got it. I don't know how I have it. He says, as soon as I saw it, he says, my first thought was Waylon. And I opened it up, and it was a hardback. And I was like, holy shit. I wanted the hardback. But, prices, it's a bit pricey. Well, uh, I, I, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I'm going to give the credit to Nana because it started off this morning, this whole day. Each day this week, I am dedicating it to one of the seven gods. I know the moon is in its decrease, but celebration, thanks, appreciation, love, and honoring power. It doesn't matter what phase anything's in because it is your intent then that powers it. And so, with that, let's get on to Monday. Hey! So, if you have a handy dandy copy of the Necronomicon, a whole $8, new one anyway. You will see the seal of the gate of Nana, which is the first gate, and then you will see the seal of the spirit of the moon, which is Nana. He is the father of the gods, and all this, that, and the other. So, I'm going to read this off my notes because I made notes for this video. I will try to fill it in as I go. But let me just say this. Although he is not flesh and blood, I'm going to do a shout out to the spirit of the moon. Nana, you a badass, dude. Keep on rocking. So, now that we've had our bit of goofy silliness and seriousness through joking. Alright, so the Zonei are the race of Anu. Okay? Now, why is that important? Because later on, when you're dealing with the Azanai and everything else, you hear what is known as the Anuship, or, the powers of Anu, of creation and so forth and so on. But these gods are the first gods. So anyway, Monday, Nana, moon. Now dig this. Master of the Agigi and the Anunnaki. Master of the spirits of the Azanai. And master of the dread lords of the underworld. His number is 30 and his color is silver. So draw your crescent moon, do them in silver. Draw a full moon, do it in silver. Whatever. You get the idea. Now what are the influences and the powers that Nana can help you with? Because see, I've noticed that there's a lot of people who are like, they work with the elder gods, but they have no idea individually what these gods are actually good for. So influence includes anything concerning the psyche, intuition, dreams, and then there's the clairs. You have clairvoyance, which is seeing, clairaudience, which is hearing, clairsentience, which is feeling and touch, clairalience, which is smell, clairgustance, which is taste, claircognizance, which is knowing. And then you've got astral projection, bilocation, dreamscaping, telepathy, divination. Now, anytime that you would be working on anything, let us say that you're trying to develop your psychic skills, break out the seal of Nana. Draw it in silver. That's all you got to do. Meditate on it. Call upon Nana and say, hey, help me to see truly. Because the powers of Nana, the effects upon the human are twofold. Let me see if I can find it here. Wow. I just woke up for the second time. You have psychic sight and psychic hearing. And, these are skills that you can do. In high magic, the reference concerning the holy guardian angel and the experience and attainment of was described by Aleister Crowley in his book, The Vision and the Voice. The which describes discovering one's HGA and then conversing with it to discover one's true will. The doorway of this sphere, which is of the moon, opens oneself to the spirit realm. This gate must be passed first if one is to awaken the mental fire or the fire of air to the elementalist. Power of thought. It was through Nana, or more aptly his power, that man was given consciousness or awareness of self-isolate being. Okay? The moon is connected to the third eye, only half of the power of the Narika chakra. The Narika chakra is a chakra found at the base of the skull, connects with the pineal gland, that then affects two chakras. Third eye chakra, throat chakra. So you get the vision and you've got the voice. Wednesday when we go over Mercury, I'll explain about the voice. But tonight is all about NANNA. So back to what I was saying. So this half of the power of the Narika chakra affects sight, the true sight, as it has been referred to. Now, what is true sight? Like when you're doing conjurations, evocations, so forth and so on, even invocations to a degree, when you're working with spirits, sometimes you can see them in your mind's eye. That is sight. Okay? And anything to deal with the power of thought at all, of the psyche itself, whether it's spiritual vision. Here's a better way of looking at it. The psyche involves all things invisible or that which is not physical and unseen. Hidden invisible. I think this is very interesting as NANNA helps to develop all these skills. So, for you lone practitioner out there, you are not alone. Way got your back. So, sit down with your seal, draw it. Draw it in silver. You ain't got silver? Use a pen, whatever you got. It really don't matter. But silver is his color. Say his name 30 times over the seal, because that's his number. And you become, every time you say it, don't just speak it. Put yourself into it. Put your mind into it. Put your heart into it. Put your emotions into it. Really get worked up when you say his name. Because great and mighty is the name of NANNA, guardian of the gate of the moon. With that being said and done, I wish each and every one of you peace, blessings, and power. Till next time.